the applause. Welcome to the Billy Morris Show featuring Merle.
That's right.
Should that be the name from now on?
Hey, I'm down with that as long as I'm allowed to come on.
You are. It's your show.
Right. Hey, real quick, we want to send our thoughts and prayers out to Nashville tonight. You guys all know senseless act of violence happened yesterday, and for me and Billy, we got kids, so it hits the heart, a little too much. But shout out to Nashville Police. We got them. We got the city of Nashville in the background tonight. But shout out to Nashville Police for getting there in 14 minutes and getting the job done. So applaud them. But our thoughts and prayers are all out to the families, and we got some buddies that are musicians out there in Nashville, and they were pretty shook up about it.
Yeah,
and,
who's that?
Greg Troyan, the junior. He was posting a lot about being heartbroken, and I got a good friend, John Kraft, who's...
I like Greg Troyan Jr.
Yeah, I like Greg Troyan Jr.
He's a good kid.
Good kid. And I got a good friend, John Kraft.
He's not a kid anymore.
I know, that's true.
Yeah.
But I got a buddy out there, John Kraft. He's an upcoming country music singer. He's really good. But that kind of ties into our first topic tonight, Billy. We was talking about it this week on... I don't know if you saw the video of Don Dokken trying to sing the other day.
I did see it. So what is this part of the show called?
Well, it's called "When Is It Time to Give It Up?"
Well, I got to tell you, I did see it. What the hell are you watching?
Speaking of musicians, Dougie Licks Manross.
Musicians who should hang it up. Dougie Licks Manross in the house.
Hey. But
so if you're watching the show, the Billy and Merle Show, there's a video going around of Don Dokken singing his opening song of a concert, "The Kiss of Death," and
with George Lynch.
No, it wasn't George Lynch. It was John Levin, who sounds just like George Lynch.
Oh, they put George.
I think he
Lynch
sounds
on.
better than George Lynch.
Okay.
He does Lynch better than Lynch does Lynch.
Oh,
but if you've followed Don Dokken over the years, and I toured with him for a couple years in a row, and I wouldn't say we're close friends, but we're friends, and I feel for the guy because he's up there in age, and he's started to sing the songs in a little lower register. So instead of going, "You just got lucky," how is it?
You just got lucky.
Does he do this? Does he do this though?
No, he barely moves.
Got lucky.
He barely moves.
But you
now.
know what? I mean, maybe it is getting close to the time to hang it up. But if you're in a band and they're booking you and they're paying you and the crowds are showing up,
that's true.
Why hang it up?
Well, that's a good point, though.
What's your point?
Well, my point is like if I was paying $100 to go see a show, and I walked in and I saw a band opening up and they were just ripping. And this isn't just Don Dokken. There's a lot of singers out there. But, to their credit, they've been screaming and singing for 30, 40 years, So, but like if I paid $100 and I went to a show and this dude's up there and the band's just shredding like you do and you just hear...
Well,
I'd be like, what is this?
Well, then you would be unhappy and not pay your money to go back.
Right. Well, that's true. But then you lose out on $100. But I get it.
There's so many bands out there. There's certain bands out there that aren't even all the original members. Like, there's no original members.
That's true. That's true. But, I mean, I guess the point is...
And the crowd still keeps coming out. So can you say that maybe the music stands the test of time? And even though he's singing in a lower register, the drummer was killer. I don't know who that guy was.
I don't either.
The drummer was killer. The bass player was killer.
Yeah, they were awesome. I mean, they were rocking out.
They're all handsome young men.
Maybe that's what people just care about. Maybe they just drink enough and they're like, I'm just going to go watch some shredding guitar and some awesome drummer, and that's all I care about.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
I care about this beer that I'm drinking. Now,
yes.
What is this again?
This is from...
No, not... I'm talking. This is from... I want to make mention. Down in the flats, right down the hill past Hoople's, Brick and Barrel brought us this delicious... Yeah.
I had some off camera. It's really
good. Delicious. And then we'll talk about the ABC Eagle IPA. Avon Brewing Company, ABC Brewing.
I haven't had that yet.
When I get to that, but you open yours, so start drinking. Yeah. But thank you for the beer. It's delicious.
That is really good. Both of them are good. I've had both of them so far.
I bumped this mic stand, which resembles a crane that builds buildings.
Sounds like whenever you're watching the NBA and they bounce it off the back of the rim. Dong.
So we want to say hi to Dougie Licks Man Ross in the house. You going to come on the microphone a little bit for me to interview you? Because I'm going to tear you up, little young man.
Well, we were just
But I
talking about
can't really-
Dougie last week.
Because his dad's here.
Yeah, I know. Big Doug will kill you.
So any other bands that you think that should hang it up that have been going too long?
Vince Neil?
I think he turned it around, though. Did Vince Neil? I mean, lately he sounded pretty good. But then again, it's Vince Neil.
And
It's Motley Crue. They're playing stadiums.
Well, that's what
They're
I'm saying.
getting booked
People
again,
are paying it.
stadiums,
So.
and people are going to see them.
This is a personal thing. I wouldn't go see it. Like, I wouldn't go pay $150.
Well, there's also certain singers that have gotten better with time. Like
True.
me. Like, I take care of myself. Thank you. I take care of myself. I'm on this vitamin plan. My wife and I, we work out 2, 3, 4 times a week. And I'm better than I've ever been. And there's other guys out there that have stayed fully kick-ass their whole career. And I'll name one. Michael Sweet, Striper. Kicks ass. He's always kicked ass. Takes care of himself.
Well, that's the key, I
You know
think,
who
is
I
taking
really
care
like?
of yourself.
I like that guy from Kicks, Steve Whitman. That guy can entertain and he
Yeah.
can sing. And when we do the Monsters of Rock cruise, they're always on it, and Tough plays every other year. We're not on it this year. Hopefully we'll be on it next year. But that's one of the bands that Leah and I love to go see is Kicks. Did we go see Kicks? And they were awesome.
Yeah.
And, but we had to leave, remember? It was too loud. It was too loud. So we sat down. It was too loud. And you know what they say? If it's too loud,
You're
turn it
getting
down.
old.
Turn it down. If it's too loud, you're too old. But I say, if it's too loud, turn it down.
Dude, I'll never forget the one time whenever you owned the Hi-Fi and you had one of those death metal bands in. Yeah, I love those bands. We'd like to thank everybody for coming out. Mom and Dad letting us practice in their basement. This next song's called Meat Sauce.
That is funny. So these young bands, like, I want to thank my Aunt Judy for coming out. It's such a fun time to be here, and all my relatives and my Uncle Bob. This next song is called Meat Sauce.
Dude, the best moment, though, was the one time at the Hi-Fi, you were going to a Breakfast Club gig, and you're like, Merle, run sound. I'm like, dude, I've never ran sound in my life. He's like, dude, just turn the vocals on. Run the vocals. You know how to do that. Don't turn anything else on. Dude, these guys come up, and they're like, dude, that was the best we've ever sounded. But all we did was just run sound for the microphones the whole night, and they couldn't even tell.
Sometimes in a small club like that, the amps on stage are so loud, you don't even put them in the PA. A little bit of kick drum and the vocal, and you're good to go. So.
Hey, Aunt Cindy tuned in. She said, nice how you guys switched up your backdrop.
We switch it up every week according to how we feel. I came in today and Merle, he called me during the day. We did a little show prep, and he is right. I've got 3 beautiful young boys, and Merle has a nice family, and it hits hard.
Yeah.
When you think about it, I actually scrolled down YouTube today, and they showed it.
Yeah. They showed the
showed-
girl getting, the killer. I'm not even going to mention that scumbag's name, but they showed the police rushing in.
Yeah.
And what was awesome is why I say, congratulations to the Nashville Police Department, was because we all know what happened in Uvalde. They waited. It was a tragedy. More kids passed away because of that situation. The cop gets there, and he's like, what do we do? And the guy's like, we're going now. Get 3. Let's go.
Yeah.
Now. And then as soon as he heard the gunshots upstairs, he's like, upstairs now. And they just ran in and took care of the problem and ran towards the goal.
the right way.
Yeah, and exactly.
Well, I will tell you this. I know this guy, all right? And he's the most loving, happy guy. See you guys. And I definitely know that you would not hesitate, even if it wasn't your kids,
Right.
for children. You
Absolutely.
would not hesitate. And you would go up there and you would
Take care of the
you would
problem.
take care of
Well,
the problem.
like
or die trying.
right. Well, like a couple weeks ago, my heart actually did drop because there was a thing going around all across the nation where kids were, it must have been a TikTok thing, I don't know, but kids were calling in and saying, hey, there's dead bodies. And my kids' high school was one of them. And the call was, hey, there's kids shot in the bathroom and the shooter is hiding in the bathroom. So my son was in there, And my heart dropped. I immediately called my work and said, "Hey, I'm going to the high school. I'm going to go take care of this." I was driving 100 miles an hour, but luckily it was just a hoax. But my son said that one of the kids was actually coming out of the bathroom, so they threw the guns. I was like, "Get down on the ground," and then they realized it was a hoax. But with my kids, they all had to go out of the school. They had to go to the football field. They had to have their hands up in the air while they were walking. My son, Keith, being nonverbal, it was a bunch of emotions, but I'm glad it was a hoax. But I feel so terrible for these families.
I don't know what I would do because, it's like I love my kids so much, and
Right.
I don't ever think about it. But this makes you think about it
Right.
because
I've been crying throughout the day, like little tears.
It's a lot harder when you do have kids. So.
Right. Well, that's what I said. I've cried off and on today just because, you think about your kids. You think about, wow, what if, and
well,
then.
Okay, oh man, I hate getting political because I have such strong political beliefs, but my wife says don't get political. But
Mine too.
I will say this. I will say that let's say that we took some of that money that we gave Ukraine. All right? I'm not saying don't support that.
Right.
And we took enough money from that shipment of money over to Ukraine and just put a payroll together for armed guards at every school.
And not just police officers, because I know that some people like to argue, well, look at this school shooting and that school, and they had a resource officer and nothing happened, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'll give you that. Let's put a Marine in there.
A Marine.
Who ain't
who's
afraid.
Already on payroll.
Right, who's already on payroll. It wouldn't
Whoa.
exactly. Why can we figure this out but our government? But I'll tell you why. Because the government, and I'll tell you this, for you guys on here who are ready to go meet each other and fight in a parking lot over politics, you're arguing over two groups of people who wouldn't even stop if you were stuck beside the road with a flat tire. They don't care about you. What they care about is
LeBron James?
Yeah. But they don't care about you. They care about election time.
That was when you're supposed to hit laughter. LeBron James?
LeBron James? Oh, we don't have laughter.
Oh, applause.
Oh, but
just fake it.
But you have these two sides who are pinning this tragedy against each other for votes because we know the election's coming up. So stop fighting out there. Stop fighting over these politicians who don't care. Last political thing.
We'll talk about my belief on guns. Okay. All right. So you want to take all the guns away from everybody, right? So you pass a law or amendment that you got to turn your guns in. Who's turning their guns in?
Nobody.
No, the law-abiding people.
Well,
keeps
and that's going to cause a civil war.
Which keeps the criminals armed, and the law-abiding people won't be. So, I'm just not going to turn my AK-47 in and all my pistols and shotguns and all that stuff that I have at home.
Well, here's my thing on it. The politicians use the word ban because they know that is going to get you fired up because your Second Amendment right. What I propose is that you have strict laws on you do your background check. But not only that, because a lot of people don't understand whenever you go in to get a gun, you have to fill out the paperwork. It takes like 30 days. Within that 30 days, you need to have a mental health evaluation. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, oh, well, that's HIPAA violation. The doctor doesn't have to describe what he found. All he has to do is say, hey, this guy or this girl, it's a no-go. They can't, and put them on the list, national list, they can't buy firearms. Now, if they go out and they buy illegally from a national arms dealer, which our government seems to forget that they let the world's most dangerous arms dealer go in a trade.
For who?
For a basketball player, which I agree that girl didn't deserve 10 years in prison, but they did that. And then they're turning around and being like, we need to end gun violence. Really? That's being hypocritical. But I think that you should have a mental evaluation. And even for gun owners, once a year.
Shouldn't you have a mental evaluation for you to be on this show?
I have. That's why I'm here.
All right, no more politics.
No more politics. Let's talk about something positive.
I want a bed to sleep in tonight.
Me too.
I'll go home, the door's locked.
Yeah, mine too.
All right, talk for a second because I hope Aunt Cindy and Uncle Scott are still watching. Talk for a second. I got a couple gifts for you.
Okay. Well, speaking of that, the Cavaliers. Let's talk a little sports. I guess the Cavaliers are in the playoffs.
Playoffs? I thought preseason just started.
The Cavaliers are in the playoffs without LeBron James, and they're looking pretty good right now. They got the 4 seed with just a handful of games left. They're trying to move into the 3 seed, which would I prefer because that would probably put them in a matchup with Boston if they won the first round. And I think that they match up with Boston a lot better than they do Milwaukee. They've beaten Boston a handful of times this year, and I just think it would be better off for the Cavaliers. But you got Donovan Mitchell playing great, Evan Mobley playing great, Okoro, he's finally stepping up. He hit that big game-winning shot the other night. So Cavs are getting it done, baby. I hope they at least go to the Eastern Conference Finals.
How's Hot Rod Williams been playing lately?
Hot Rod. I think he's doing okay. He's in the retirement center.
So I got a text from my Uncle Scott, and he's like, I found these shirts. Do you want them? I'm like, well, I kind of want them, but they're really big, so this is a gift to you, man.
All right.
An extra large Baker Mayfield shirt.
Baker Mayfield. Hey,
So
that'll be motivation to keep losing weight.
There's your first shirt. There's your first shirt.
Baker.
There's a lot, but there's more.
Oh, wait, there's more. It's like a Sunday. But wait, there's more.
And then Uncle Scott donated this one to you. Oh, this one's kind of cool. Danger Mayfield.
All right, I'll wear these.
Yeah, I know you
I'll
will.
still wear these.
They're tent size. But then my wife Leah was like, well, if we're going to give the big shirts away, let's give some more away. So I got this at the Hooley house for St. Patrick's Day.
All right.
It's kind of cool,
Yeah,
right?
I like that.
What size is that? Triple fat, right?
Triple fat. Double fat.
There you go. Oh, this is a good one. This is one of my favorite ones. Got this at the IX Center. You walk in the auto show and they're just handing you shirts, and this one says, how big is your crack?
Oh, my God.
That's for you.
All right. Well, thanks, Uncle Scott.
This one here really is about, about our show.
Oh, by the way, hello to Pete and Ellis for tuning in tonight. Let them know. All right, the Cavs.
That's a good one, right?
That's the Cavs logo this year. You know that if you watch regular season basketball.
When does it start? And then
Panini's?
A Panini St. Patrick's Day. This was a big one.
Even better. I got a new wardrobe. I don't even.
All right, and finally,
I don't have to wash.
I care about you so much. All right, we've been through a lot. I got you this awesome Chicago Cutlery steak knife set. Look at that.
Even
Isn't that
better.
nice?
Yeah.
Take
Thank
that
you.
home, man. And
I will.
I'm sure it'll cook up those hamburger steaks that you make. All the time. Cut them up real nice.
Awesome, dude. I got all these
All right.
awesome gifts. All right.
Congratulations. You got all these gifts.
Thank
all right,
you.
Merle.
Thank
All
you.
right. Yay.
Thank you.
All right. What we're going to do right now is I'm going to have you step aside for 3 minutes, and I'm going to do an impromptu interview with Dougie Licks Manross.
All right. Come on up, Dougie.
Yeah.
This is my seat. You just keep it warm.
Today's show is brought to you by the Eagle IPA from the ABC Avon Brewing Company. It's a delicious beer. Check out ABC Avon Brewing Company with more locations opening up. And we back them if you want to tune in next every other Tuesday at 7 o'clock, right, Sean? They're at 7. They do a really cool beer podcast called Blabber Malt. And we're lucky enough to follow them. They always leave us some tasty treats. So I'm drinking some Eagle IPA right now.
Yeah.
Are you old enough for this yet?
No.
Dougie Licks Manross. Give it up for this guy.
Woo! Happy to be here.
Now, if you know the history of Dougie Manross.
Doug's my dad.
I was friends with his dad, Doug. And at one point, we were playing, Breakfast Club was playing at Scoundrels in Berea. And Big Doug called me. He's like, hey, my son plays guitar. Can he come up and jam with you guys? And I'm like, absolutely. So here comes this little kid with a guitar bigger than him, and he comes up and plays. What was your first song? Living After Midnight?
Living After Midnight.
Living After Midnight, which is ironic because we were in Berea, and the first song I played with my Berea friends in high school was Living After Midnight.
Nice.
You didn't know that, did you?
Nope.
Kick-ass song. But the rest is history. And a lot of people say, oh, man, you taught that kid good. But I always say, no, I just gave him the stage and the platform, and he put all the work in himself, and he's very successful now. So let's talk about, you are making a change from one popular band to another popular band in this town. So what do you, where are you, who are you leaving, who are you joining, why are you doing that? The world wants to know.
All right. I wasn't expecting to make the announcement right now, but
Too bad.
but so I am leaving Bronx Country.
Whoa! Whoa! I didn't know that.
I don't know if it's gonna be forever, but I'm joining Cleveland's Breakfast Club.
Whoa!
Yeah. So that's what's happening.
Why would you do that? Because I'll tell you why. I mean, I'll tell you why I ask. Bronx Country is like the top country cover band in town, and they play good gigs.
We are the top country band in town.
And lots of fine ladies come see that band, right?
Yeah.
So why are you leaving Bronx Country to join Cleveland's Breakfast Club?
To open myself up to opportunities, because with Bronx Country, I'm the only guy that can do that gig. With Breakfast Club, there's 4 other guys in town that could do that gig. You know,
Who would that be?
you being one of them.
All right. Well, I guess. What are your other opportunities, though?
Just
Go
keeping
ahead.
myself open.
Well, also another thing, Dougie is one of the lead guitar players for Tim the Ripper Owens, former lead vocalist of Judas Priest. You know, us side guys, hired guns. He was a hired gun.
Yes.
I was a hired gun. You always have to put the former in there. Billy Morris, formerly guitar player of Warrant. Tim the Ripper Owens, former lead vocalist of Judas Priest.
Yeah.
Dougie Licks Manross, former guitar player of Bronx Country.
Right, yeah. Yep.
So other than Breakfast Club is going to be your moneymaker, you got some Ripper Owens gigs coming up in the future?
I got stuff going on. I can't talk about it yet, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I get it. But you know what? I do, and the reason why when I surprisingly called you up and I said I was going to rip you up, I am going to rip you up. You know what I'm going to say, right?
I know exactly
what I'm
what you're
gonna
going to say.
All right, so how old are you?
I am 24 years old.
24 years old.
Full-time musician.
When I was 24 years old, I was in a local band called Spoiled, Spoyld. And we would get together 5 days a week and practice, not at night, but in the morning. Your bass player, Tiny,
Yeah.
would pick me up in his Subaru Brat at my mom's and dad's house in Columbia Station with no exhaust. I knew he was coming 3 minutes in advance because I could hear that thing. He would pick me up. We would go downtown to East 55th and Marginal, sort of next to Fox 8, and it was called Cleveland One Stop. And there was a rehearsal studio in there that we rented from a guy named Kurt Yano, and he's very
Legendary.
successful.
Yeah.
Recording engineer, producer. And we practiced 5 days a week, and we played cover songs, but we wrote original songs.
Yeah.
And that kind of set us up to be one of the top original, we were like Cleveland's answer to Poison. We had all the original songs. We had great songs. We copied their look with the big, bouffant hairdos and the boas and the makeup and everything.
Yeah.
And we actually got to go out and showcase at the Cat Club in New York City for Jason Flom of Atlantic Records and Nick Ferrara of Atlantic Records. And we never got the record deal, but we did it, and we tried it. And the bond that we had with those guys in that band is so strong. I mean, I love all those guys, but I really need to keep pressuring you to be in my footsteps of writing songs and not just playing, don't you forget about me. Don't you.
I'm working on it. So
And you know what? I know you say you're working on it, but I've put my hand out to you.
Right.
Dude, let's go.
yeah. Let's do it.
Well,
All my friends watching, let's write some songs.
all right. Well, and you did a great talk about the video you did in here with Bailey and Eric Kennedy, the cover song, but it was great.
Yeah. I recorded a cover by myself, recorded all the drums, all the bass, all the vocals, all the guitar for a song called I Hope. It was a cover of Gabby Barrett.
You guys should be doing that song in Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
You should every night,
Yeah.
and you should sing it.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, you will be singing some songs, right?
Right, yeah. Yeah, for sure. I sing all the Poison songs. It's in the footsteps.
In the footsteps.
Yeah. But I did that cover. It's on my YouTube. Dougie Manross on YouTube.
It's a great cover.
There's like 15,000 views on it, I think.
Did you ever hear from her?
Nope.
You didn't win the contest?
I didn't win the contest.
Who won the contest?
I don't think anybody won the contest. I think it was a weird.
Well, who was the girl? Is she still like somebody?
She was on American Idol for.
Because you
a
know what
season.
happens. Here's what happens. The novelty of being a kid wears off.
Right. Yeah.
Are you finding that out?
Yeah.
Dougie's
I found that out a long time
Dougie's
ago.
got the talent to pick it up.
Exactly.
To keep it going. So any last couple words you want to say before
Follow me on Facebook at Dougie Manross, and then keep up to where what I'm doing, where I'm going. But I got some stuff coming up this summer I can't talk about yet. You know what it is. But
Yeah, tell Ripper to call me back.
yeah. Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah. Follow me on Facebook
At Dougie Manross.
at Dougie Manross.
All right, Dougie. Hey, give him a big hand. Dougie Manross, formerly of Bronx.
Formerly of Bronx Country.
Bronx Country.
I got 2 more gigs. I will say I got 2 more gigs. I got one at the Grindstone in Berea, ironically enough, because that's where I got my start. And then the next one is at Jules Dance Hall, which is a big country bar out on the east side. So, yeah, fun
And then
stuff.
it's Full-Time Breakfast Club.
Full-time Breakfast Club. And play with my girlfriend, Jess, and I host jam nights, which I know you hate.
Fix your mirror.
Nope.
Remember what I told you, Jess. But all right, Dougie, the world is waiting for your next interview where we debut your first original song.
Yeah, there you go.
All right,
I'll
come
do
on.
it.
Dougie Licks Manross. Thanks, Merle. Thanks for giving up the chair.
No problem. Dougie's awesome. Yeah, nice and warm. We've been watching Dougie for many years. It's
Yeah.
been awesome, dude, watching him come from this little kid just standing on stage to the rock star he is now. I watch all of his videos. It's awesome. I probably watched that Ripper Owens video a bunch. So
Yeah.
well, I mean, here lately, I don't have a life anymore. I go to work, come home, watch YouTube videos.
Well, if you're watching
No,
the
I'm just
show,
kidding.
give us a call. Call into the show at 435-5249.
Put your readers on.
Readers to read the screen.
435-5249 and then extension 713. It's at the bottom of the screen.
All right, let's taste test this beer. This is an Eagle IPA from the Avon Brewing Company. Very
Cheers.
delicious. Cheers, fuckface.
Oh. It's okay. You can swear on the air. We'll drop an F-bomb every now and then. No big
So
deal.
delicious. It's an IPA, but it's not too hoppy. It's perfect.
Right. So what did you do this past weekend?
Well, Friday night I went to Old School and saw
Oh,
Old School at
Tim
the Time
Burris
Warp.
and,
oh my God, they are so good.
Oh,
So good.
man.
And
Li-
the thing is,
Little
my
Bob?
Little Bob, Bobby. You don't call.
Oh,
he
yeah,
doesn't like
Bobby.
Little Bob anymore. It's Bobby.
Big
But
time.
my wife loves to dance, so whenever I take my wife out to dance, she likes Old School. So
Yeah.
we're gonna go to the phone lines. Here we go. Hey, you are on the Billy and Merle Show. Who's calling there? Again,
Hello?
it's turned up. Who's calling? I have it on Roadcaster Pro. It's Pete. Pete, it's not working tonight. So, it's working. I mean, I'm connected to the Roadcaster. Are you seeing signal there? You're seeing signal.
Pete, you there?
Yeah, and I'm on
And we're on
Roadcaster Pro, and I got the volume turned
Wow.
up. All right, Pete. You'll be seeing a new software we're using next week, so it'll work. I'm sorry, the phone calls are not working tonight,
It's all right.
as usual. OBS is gonna go bye-byes.
So, what did you do this past weekend?
So we went and danced at Time Warp for Old School.
Old School.
Awesome band. They play
Yeah.
all the 90s hip-hop and dance stuff. And I don't know if you saw this, but the third set, Bobby comes out dressed like Prince. They do a
Yeah,
whole Prince
yeah,
medley.
I've-
Amazing.
Yeah, it does a great job.
Shout out to Bobby and Tim Burris and the guys in the band.
Yeah.
And
They-
then
they do a great
Saturday,
job.
what did I do Saturday? How terrible
Oh, you
is
coached
this?
football, didn't you?
I coached football. I got up Saturday. I had to coach my 5th and 6th grade team. It was a play into the playoffs, and we lost. I'll tell you why we lost. We were a better team, but my star receiver was in Canada for spring break on vacation,
Yeah.
and my quarterback, Grant, halfway through the game, Coach, I got to go. I'm like, you got to go? Yeah, I got basketball. And his mom's, come on, Grant, come on. So I was down, and we lost by like a touchdown. We
Dude.
would have won if I had my full squad. So Lost that game.
That's a fine.
The
You gotta
next
find
game
them. You gotta start
was my
finding them.
Third. No ice cream for you. My next game, 3rd and 4th grade, was my son Tanner's team, and we lost by another touchdown. It was tied. It was such an exciting game. It was tied, and then the kid threw up a wing and a prayer the whole thing, and this big kid caught it in the end zone, and they won the game. It was terrible for my team, but good for that team. The kids, but. And then Lee and I went out for sushi.
Oh, nice.
And went dancing again, and it was a great night Saturday night. Got up Sunday, took Penton to the Amherst Meadowlarks Motorcycle Club, and here's a funny story. All right, so Merle, you watched me race for 15 years, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty
At
good.
least.
Huh? I'm good, right?
You're all right.
All right. So
Using
my
the
son-
trophies now as firewood because you have so many, but
My son's 11, and he races in the 65cc class. So I brought one of my bikes, and it was just a practice day, and they made a real nice tight little sand loop because the mud part was too muddy, but there's a sand section. Now, do you know Lorain County was underwater thousands of years ago?
yeah.
So this track has a lot of sand. So we're racing around this track, and I'm on this big KTM 300, and my son's on a KTM 65. And he's just whipping my ass. And for the first time, I could not keep up with him. I couldn't catch him.
And he's probably loving it.
I was actually going into the turns, and he's squaring these turns off and just screaming this little 65 and spraying me with sand. I could only laugh. It was the best feeling in the world.
You
it's
always,
me.
but
It's
you
me.
want the kids.
I want the kid.
You
It's
want the kids to
best
be
feeling
better
in the
than you.
world when your kid succeeds, but also when your kid succeeds
At 12 years old.
11.
11. Oh, yeah.
Beating me.
Yeah, and you're pretty fast. That's awesome, dude. Going back to the football thing, the one thing that drives me nuts as a coach is whenever they're like, well, we can play half a game, but we got to go to basketball, or they can't be at practice this week because they got volleyball. It's like, why would you put your kid in this sport and not be dedicated? But I'm not calling the parents out that did this, but there are parents out there who do this and send their kids to different practices and then go, why isn't my kid getting any playing time? He's the best one out there. Maybe so, but I'm not going to punish the other kids that were there all week in practice.
I feel really bad because to win this game, flag football at 5th and 6th grade is all about speed.
Right.
All right, speed. So I've got 4 speedsters and 3 big guys. Big, but not fast enough.
Not fast enough.
But I always kept one in, and I rotated those guys. But I kind of felt bad. I wanted to win to get us into the championship, so I had to do what I had to do. But I felt bad that I couldn't get all the big guys in.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's about speed. And it's just the way it's set up.
Yeah, exactly. You can't just always, worry about other people's feelings. You got a job to do as a coach, and it's not teaching this generation. It's not teaching them in the future. Like, everybody's going to get to play because guess what? Whenever you get to middle school, you get to high school. If you're not good enough, you're going to set the bench, or you may not even make the team.
Okay, so my son Penton is a pretty good football player. His name's Penton Morris, but they call him Bam Bam Morris because he can lay the wood. He hits. So he's like, Dad, I'm going to St. Ed's. I'm like, you're not going to St. Ed's.
He might, dude.
No, he's not. Because I want him to have the Bay Village high school experience and start on his football team rather than go to St. Ed's, all boys school, and ride the bench and maybe play 2 or 3 plays a game.
Maybe, unless he's good enough. If St. Ed's calls you, though, there's something there.
That's true.
But, with this whole NIL stuff.
None of these kids are going to the pros.
Well, yeah, you never know. Penton might surprise you. Dude, I remember whenever that kid was like 7 years old and he was sitting on the couch watching defensive schemes on YouTube. Bro, if he ain't going to be a football player professionally, he might be a coach. But this past weekend, that's awesome. But this past weekend for me, I got to hang out with my good friend Mike, your good friend too, Mike Martini. He does all my tattoo work. So he put the final touches on. So I got these tattoos right here for my kids. And one is a softball in the arm, and that's for my daughter, Love. And then my son, Keith, is autistic, so we got the puzzle piece for him. But the cool one that finished it all together was this Nintendo controller, because my oldest son, Seth, is he's a gamer. So where the Nintendo normally goes, we put his name, and then we put this plug that looks like it's plugged into my arm that plugs them all together. And Mike's an amazing artist. Plus, you get to hear all the cool stories,
Oh, yeah.
Dude, the best the best moment I ever. By the way, if you want to go on there, type in original pranks to black metal band. That's one of the best pranks ever. But one of the best moments ever was whenever we had Battle of the Bands at the Hi-Fi.
Oh my God.
And we had these bands come in.
Okay, so first off, I own the Hi-Fi Club, and I think
At
I was
that
either
time.
out of town.
You were out
or
of town.
I was out of town, and we had a Battle of the Bands, and
The other guy was hiding in the basement.
Merle was like the manager and the judge of the Battle of the Bands. And there was a few bands that were really good, and they brought a big crowd, and I think they deserved to win. But this other band actually won. So you can take it from there.
The band that thought they should win come up in a battle of the bands and start playing cover songs. And then whenever at the end they're like, well, we didn't know that they couldn't play cover songs. They have a whole list of original songs. I'm like, what battle of the bands have you been to? Where you can just go up there and play cover songs. But anyways, so Mike Martini's band's called Spellchucker. And they're all these wizards. They dress like wizards. And the one guy shoots fire into the crowd. And they just play all this wizardly music. And that's how he describes it, just wizardly music. It's just like, meow, meow, and they sing weird. They're like, oh, yeah. And so
they won.
well, they won, but
Why'd they win? You fixed it.
they won some money, but Mike told the crowd, he's like, oh, you parents out there, I'm going to cast a spell on you tonight. And so what's funny is the parents were mad, but we got the kids some free recording time in your studio.
took care of 'em.
But I don't even know if they showed up. But so at the end of the night, the parents started fighting each other.
Really?
yeah. So Mary Beth, the old bartender, she's like, get out of my bar. She's climbing on top of the bar and everything. And so they all leave, and he goes, I told you I was going to cast a spell on him. But dude, Mike's the best. And Mike's over at Square City Tattoo out in Chardon. So if you guys want any tattoos, guy does amazing work. But and then on Sunday, I did my normal. I went out to Cuyahoga County Community College and umpired a couple games. And I'm going back there this weekend, hopefully, if it don't rain. So that's my weekends pretty much. I do softball now.
Well, I'd like to announce that this weekend coming up, I am off Friday, but Saturday night I will be at Spivak's Nautical Lanes.
Oh,
in
that
Avon
place is
Lake.
cool, man.
It's very cool. So what they do at Spivak's, it's a 28 lane wide bowling alley, and it's the largest span without a middle support in the state.
Yeah.
There's no middle support, there's no beams. They put us on the middle 4 lanes, so we play on the bowling lanes facing the crowd. It's the best view. There's different levels. You can see the band. We bring a big sound system, big light show, crank it up, and then they turn all the lights down. They have all their laser bowling, and you rock and bowl.
Oh, so you guys play while they bowl. That's awesome.
We play while they bowl. And the funny thing is the guy, Jimmy Spivak, has got these giant video boards like behind us. And the guy, like the VJ, has got his hand on the mouse. And so we'll go into a song like Round and Round, and he'll click Round and Round, and we'll play Round and Round, and the video for Round and Round will be playing behind us.
That's cool.
We'll go into Lick It Up by Kiss, and boom, Lick It Up is everybody's like, oh my God, I can't believe they're playing all these songs. Like they think it's a coincidence that we're doing
right.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys played that in the show.
And so this week is sponsored by White Claw, and they have a new vodka White Claw coming out. It's a White Claw vodka White Claw tasting party.
Oh, nice.
And all the kids are going to come out, and all my friends are going to come out.
You guys
Now,
gonna get wasted, bruh?
I'm gonna get wasted. No, I'll try some of the White Claws, but you know me. I'm hardcore Jenny Cream Ale.
That's good stuff, right? You drink that a lot though, even at home, right?
Well, we were sponsored by Jenny Cream Ale for a minute, and if I see it in the stores, I buy it. If we're at a club that they have it, I drink it.
Yeah.
It's your dad's beer. You know,
Yeah.
it's like the beer that your dad drank. Doug, did you ever drink Jenny Cream?
Yeah.
Yeah, you drank it in a 40 ouncer though.
I enjoy. Laws turned me onto this one, Blatz.
I love Blatz.
But I'm kind of disappointed because the Acme by my store out in Portage Lakes, they used to sell it. Now they don't anymore. And I'm like, come on, guys, I love it. So the last
none
time
none of these beers have the same formula. They just print a label
Print
and
the
stick it
name,
on a
and hey, it's Blatz, yeah.
Hey, Schlitz.
right.
So the beer that I would always drink if I had the opportunity, but has anybody ever heard of the beer Duke? Duke beer?
Actually, I have. I got to find them. I got you a can.
You did.
Out of a. I was cleaning. That's whenever I was cleaning air ducts at the time, and I was cleaning a return, and I hear this clink, clink, and clink, and I look down, and right in the vent, there's 2 Duke can beers. It must have been from the construction workers back in the day.
Yeah, when I was a young kid sleeping over at my grandparents' house, that's the beer that my grandfather drank was Duke beer, and it was like a Duke, on the label, and the motto was Duke. It even sounds like a man's beer.
That's awesome.
So,
hey,
but they never relabeled or re-brought it out. So,
shout out to our good friend Craig Smith watching now.
Craig Smith.
Yeah, Craig's out racing the GNCC series.
Yeah,
he's been doing that now.
He's a warrior, man.
He came out with us that one year, and then he was hooked, and he just started doing all the GNCCs. And it's kind of cool. Like, him and his wife were kind of like us. They camped out in the van. But him and his wife would put the bed in the back seat, like a mattress in the back seat, and they would sleep in the back. But now I think they got like this big camper.
You
and
I couldn't do that.
No.
We couldn't put
You're
the bed
too
in the
big.
back.
But no, like now they have like a big camper that they haul
do
around.
it the right way. But they're empty nesters.
Right. And that's true. They don't have to wake up at 5 a.m. to get everybody ready for school anymore. They've done that. They've paid their dues.
Yeah.
But like the cool thing that I love about them is like they're such a sweet couple. Like they go out, they do everything together. But like their annual tradition every year is after the GNCC in Florida, they go to Disney World every year.
Yeah.
And hang out, which is awesome. I love those guys.
For you doing any vacationing for spring break or anything? Or?
No, the kids are actually on spring break right now. Let's see here. My cousin Mike Hugel, who's a big musician. You met him actually one time whenever Tough was like out in Detroit. But he said, just don't try the Atlas. The nostalgia ain't worth the runs. He's always got something to say. I love Mike. He's from Detroit. But what was the question you asked me? I'm sorry.
I don't know.
I don't either. What was I doing? Or
I'll tell you, this beer is pretty potent. I'm warm right now.
Yeah, I agree. Like I drank a little bit. I'm feeling a little warm too.
Oh, so I'm gonna take my family down to Florida.
And
we
vacation.
We started looking at flights because we always fly.
Yeah.
And like Leah's on the phone booking the flights. She's like, "Oh my God, they just went up $100 a ticket right now. I mean, right in the middle of booking,
exactly.
It went up $100." So I said, "Leah, forget it. We're driving." She's like,
right?
Really? I'm like, "Yeah, road trip."
It's so fun.
Well, it's only like 14 hours to Orlando.
Yeah, but it's
We're
fun.
gonna drive.
It's fun though. Like me and you have done that. We've driven down with Mr. Penton.
Those were
the best times ever, dude. Mr. Penton. We've never heard the same story twice.
Well, I tell you what. And we'll end the show with this. So everybody.
We got one more thing.
One more thing. All right. Well, we'll talk about Mr. Penton real fast. But my son is named Penton William Morris. Like when we're gonna have a boy, I said to Leah, I'm like, we're gonna call him William Morris the Fourth, because I'm William Morris the Third. She's like, absolutely not. There's no more Williams. It's gonna be two, Big Bill, Littler Bill, So
Little Bill.
We're throwing around names, and I'm like, they're throwing out all these trendy 90s or 2000 names. Graydon, Drayden, Jaden, Waden, Raiden,
Parker,
Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero.
So I'm like, you know what? How about the name Penton? And she looked at me. She's like, Penton. That's it. It was decided instantly.
Right away.
So I named my son after John Penton, my motorcycle racing icon hero.
Yeah.
And we're still friends to this day. He's 97 years old. He lives in Amherst, Ohio.
Penton Farms.
He loves little Penton. He held Penton as an infant.
Yeah.
He comes to some of the races, and imagine, like, let's say that you're a basketball freak, and
right,
and you get to you name your boy Jordan, after Michael
Jordan, right?
And you come off the track of the court, and Michael Jordan's sitting there.
Watching
that's how it is for
right,
me.
Exactly.
I come out off the track, and in my pit, there's John Penton. And me and Penton went and saw him, a couple months ago, and he was so excited to see him.
Right.
So it's just it's a cool thing to be able to have that connection with your heroes.
Absolutely. But it's got to be awesome to watch Penton grow over the years and just take after you. A natural, man. A natural.
He's awesome. He's
because there's a lot of parents out there, their kids don't follow that.
I even told him, I said, because he won the 65cc championship for the CRA.
Right.
And he's all proud. I'm like, yeah, you're good, but a couple more years till you get dad.
And it was just a couple months.
Well, if it was a long race and it was a fast track, his little bike that he rides just isn't enough to keep.
He's
going to
get you soon.
Oh, I can't wait.
Soon. That's going to be the greatest feeling ever. But Penton's really good though. I mean, but like it's awesome to see him take something after you and put all the work, because it's not easy, obviously, and he puts all that work and time and effort into being good. And the one good thing I like, you do, and you don't realize you say this to him, but not in exact words, but you tell him to be humble all the time, because
that is one thing I tell my team. Like,
yeah.
When we win a game, I'm like, hey, we win with class, we lose with class, we win with class. I don't like my kids jumping up and down and
gloating.
Yeah, like, boom.
Oh, we just won by 55 points. Woo! It's like, dude, the other team.
We win with class, we lose with class.
Right.
So we're always humble. We always shake hands, say good game, good game, game. Then we go into our little huddle, and then we were like, we kick some ass.
Right, exactly. But like, for Penton, he's in a sport where you have to bring it every week, and being the champion, which I'm sure he realizes this, he now has a target on his back. Hey, that's the champion from last year.
Well, let's
because remember Samantha Valish, we used to tell her, hey, that's your rival, go get her. And every week she'd ride hard and try to go get her rival.
And we have to understand, Penton won a certain series or a certain, CRA, which is just a local series. And there's many fast kids.
Oh, my.
And he's like, Dad, I want to go to these big races. I want to go to these big races. I want to go. So we'll see where it takes him.
Yeah, but that's awesome that he's ready for the big time. Speaking of big time, this Thursday, baseball is back.
Baseball?
Yeah, baseball.
Spring training starts?
I think it's already started. But regular season baseball starts this week, and the Guardians are actually doing something. And I didn't realize that other clubs did this, but it makes sense. And it's for the clubs that like either just basically, even if they are winning, they don't have, that big crowd. Or if they're losing, they're trying to get them in. But the Guardians started this new thing starting in April. They have 12 games at home in April, but it's $49 a month. You get to go to every game. And it's standing room only. But you get to go to the home run porch, Heritage Park, which is where all the plaques are and everything. And then over in the bar in right field. So there's a couple of seats there. But I've always said, me and my buddy were talking about this, if you get tired, you can go up in the upper level and sit. They're not going to say nothing to you.
I think that's a great thing.
But I think that's a great deal, though.
That's a great thing.
Because you think about it. If you go to 12 games, the average ticket is about $12. That's almost like $144 that you're spending just for 12 games. But now it's only $49.
Yeah, but you know what they should do? They should take it one step further. You want to fill that place up? Guardians, you want me to tell you how to do it? I love it when people say, you know what you need to do? Yeah, you tell me how to run my baseball team. Here's what you need to do. $49. That's for one person, right?
Yeah, $49 a person.
It needs to be $49 a family. And I'll tell you why.
Ooh, that's
because you're going to get the $49.
Yep.
But then you're going to get all that concessions, and you're going to turn the kids. You got to grab the kids at a young age to be fans for life.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Because I can't afford 49 times 5.
And yeah, exactly. No, I agree. You're right
so
about that.
So if it was $49 a family, think about, you're going to go down there with your 3 kids, and they're like, Dad, I want a hot dog. Dad,
Sorry.
I want popcorn. No, you're going to buy it for them.
Right, you're right.
So not only are you spending the $49, but you're going to be into it for $50 a game minimum. Well, more than that.
Yeah.
You go to a baseball game.
You got
how much is
$20 parking?
Parking. How much is a beer? $12.
Not that, like $11.
$8, $9, $12.
I don't drink the beers there.
Hot dogs for 3 kids. Popcorn for 3 kids.
The one thing they did, one thing I do like is they do allow you now to like bring in like
they always did like a sandwich or something or
it's been like
a brown bag.
It's been about like 10 years now, but they allow you to bring in like a couple hot dogs and from the street vendors and a water. But like you're right though. I mean, it is a lot of money because you pay $20 for parking, then you got to buy popcorn, souvenir. Before you know, it's a $200 day.
All right, we are going to end this. This brought it up. This made me think of a great baseball story.
Oh my god!
So last little skit of the show, and we're going to say goodnight. But I'll tell you this. So one time, Breakfast Club was playing at the Cleveland Indians Stadium in the outfield. And we're setting up, and Merle was our everything. He was our security. He was our head roadie. He was like, he just did everything. Well, we got down there, and one lead singer, Dave Brooks, lost his bag. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And he was certain that you lost his bag.
Listen, Merle, I gave it to you, and it's right in here, and then next thing I know, it's gone. What did you do with my bag? I was like, Dave, you never gave me your bag, bro. He's like, Merle, I told you I was running late. I come in here, and I gave you my fucking bag. Now, where's it at?
Where was the bag?
Limo Carl goes, dude, you left it in the limo. Oh, my God. That was
Thanks
the
for
best.
watching tonight. We had a great time talking about everything. Everything we do is off the cuff. We don't really have a lot of show prep. We knew a couple of the topics we want to talk about, but thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next Tuesday at 9 o'clock on the Billy Morris Show featuring Merle.
That's right.
And I thought it was a great show.
I thought it was a great show, too. And shout out to the guys.
Avon Brewing Company for the Eagle IPA.
And I can't never say they're the Blabber Malt.
The Blabber Malt guys for being right before us, leaving us this great.
Every other Tuesday, they're on right here on Audio Base. And again, Audio Base Studios. You guys want to do this? We have a blast coming there doing it. Contact myself or Billy Morris here. That way you guys can get on, start your own podcast. You see the awesome setup. You can put any background you want. And again, thoughts and prayers to Nashville. And we thank you guys so much for tuning in every week. It means a lot to me.
Also, food truck season is starting.
Yes.
And Smoke and Rock and Roll, who shares this great space with us, is looking for drivers, servers, cooks, people, good people. So if you want a job on a food truck, we're looking. Look up Smoke and Rock and Roll on Facebook or call 216-539-2239. Talk to my good partner, Todd Chason, the heartbeat of Smoke and Rock and Roll.
Love Todd.
And can't wait for food truck season to kick off. We were pressure washing the inside of the truck and disinfecting and cleaning and sparkling and here we go. So we'll see you next week. Want to thank our producer, Sean.
Oh, we can't forget. Come on over,
Daniel. Come on, Daniel.
Come
Let's
on, Daniel.
go.
Come on, Daniel.
Come on,
we need
Daniel.
you. Hey, you know what though? We call Daniel. Come here, Daniel.
Nah, he ain't having it.
I want to
today.
brag about you. Come here. Come here. It's not to make fun of you. Come here.
We'll talk him into it next week.
All right, we'll talk about it. But
Just
hey,
to say.
I'll tell you what. I was here earlier, and he showed me some of his music, or let me hear it. Dude, kid's got a lot of talent.
Well, here's what.
a lot of
all right,
talent.
so Daniel,
he's gonna go somewhere.
Daniel, look at me. Next week, I want your music on our show.
Absolutely.
Going in and out of some segments and stuff. Deal?
Yeah, so pick an
All
opening
right.
song. I'm telling you, the kid's talented. I loved it.
I can tell he is, yeah. All right. And then in 6 months, when Dougie squirts out an original, we'll have one of Dougie's songs, too. All right. Billy and Merle saying good night, and thanks for tuning into the Billy Morris Show featuring Merle.
Good night, everybody.